Chapter 10. Descriptive Statistics. Introduction. After instruments have been administered and data have been scored and tabulated, the first step in data analysis is to describe it in a summary fashion using one or more descriptive statistics. Indeed, in some types of research, such as questionnaire studies, the entire process of analysis may consist of computing and then interpreting such statistics. Also, this chapter discusses the use of descriptive statistics in detail. I. Statistics versus parameters. A parameter is a characteristic of a population. O. It is a numerical or graphic way to summarize data obtained from the population. A statistic, on the other hand, is a characteristic of a sample. O. It is a numerical or graphic way to summarize data obtained from a sample. 2. Two fundamental types of numerical data. A. Quantitative data. Quantitative data are obtained by determining placement on a scale that indicates amount or degree. B. Categorical data. Categorical data are data obtained by determining the frequency of occurrences in each of several categories. 3. Types of scores. A. Raw scores. A raw score is the initial score obtained when using an instrument. A derived score is a raw score that has been translated into a more useful score on some type of standardized basis to aid in interpretation. B. Derived scores. A derived score is a raw score that has been translated into a more useful score on some type of standardized basis to aid in interpretation. C. Which scores to use? Usually the best scores to use are standard scores, which are sometimes provided in instrument manuals and, if not, can easily be calculated. 4. Techniques for summarizing quantitative data. A. Frequency polygons. A frequency polygon is a graphic display of a frequency distribution. O. It is a graphic way to summarize quantitative data for one variable. B. Skewed polygons. A graphic distribution of scores in which only a few individuals receive high scores is called a positively skewed polygon. One in which only a few individuals receive low scores is called a negatively skewed polygon. C. Histograms and stem leaf plots. A histogram is a bar graph used to display quantitative data at the interval or ratio level of measurement. A stem leaf plot is similar to a histogram, except it lists specific values instead of bars. D. The normal curve. The normal distribution is a theoretical distribution that is symmetrical and in which a large proportion of the scores are concentrated in the middle. Many distributions of data tend to follow a certain specific shape of distribution curve called a normal distribution. When a distribution curve is normal, the large majority of the scores are concentrated in the middle of the distribution, and the scores decrease in frequency the farther away from the middle they are. E. Averages. There are several measures of central tendency, averages, that are used to summarize quantitative data. O. The two most common are the mean and the median. The mean of a distribution is determined by adding up all of the scores and dividing the sum by the total number of scores. The median of a distribution marks the point above and below which half of the scores in the distribution lie. The mode is the most frequent score in a distribution. F. Spreads. The term variability, as used in research, refers to the extent to which the scores on a quantitative variable in a distribution are spread out. The most common measure of variability used in educational research is the standard deviation. The range, another measure of variability, represents the difference between the highest and lowest scores in a distribution. G. Standard scores and the normal curve. Standard scores use a common scale to indicate how an individual compares to other individuals in a group. The simplest form of standard score is a z-score. OAZ score expresses how far a raw score is from the mean in standard deviation units. The major advantage of standard scores is that they provide a better basis for comparing performance on different measures than do raw scores. The term probability, as used in research, refers to a prediction of how often a particular event will occur. O probabilities are usually expressed in decimal form. H. Correlation. A correlation coefficient is a numerical index expressing the degree of relationship between two quantitative variables. O. The one most commonly used in educational research is the Pearson R. A scatter plot is a graphic way to describe a relationship between two quantitative variables. V. Techniques for summarizing categorical data. Researchers use various graphic techniques to summarize categorical data, including frequency tables, bar graphs, and pie charts. A. The frequency table. A frequency table shows the frequency with which each type, or category, of learning activity is mentioned. The researcher simply places a tally mark for each individual in the sample alongside the activity mentioned. B. Bar graphs and pie charts. There are two other ways to illustrate a difference in proportions. One is a bar graph and the other is a pie chart. C. The cross-break table. A cross-break table is a graphic way to report a relationship between two or more categorical variables. The simplest cross-break is a 2 by 2 table.